Hello. That's the wrong one.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
That's a great question. How are you?
I am alright. Tired,
Fair.
mostly. But doing alright.
Good.
Fixing that last button. There we go.
Trying to be nice and fancy.
Yes. Always. Always try to be fancy.
Meanwhile, I have a skull on me. Very fancy.
Yeah. So, how have you been doing?
Tired.
Okay. Same?
Skulls are also very... Well, this skull definitely is. It's Jack Skellington. He definitely looks very fancy with his little bow tie in the bottom.
Yeah, well, little bow tie.
So everyone's tired, yes.
Yeah.
Are you also tired, Alfie?
He's been working for 25 hours a day.
I mean, we also forced her to go to bed, and she slept longer than I expected. It isn't bad, see?
8 days a week.
She slept longer than I expected her to do, which I'm guessing if we set the alarm at 8, she would have started working at 8:30. Busting with energy. Nice. I'm hype, but also tired and kind of want to get through this as fast as we can so we can continue making clothing.
We kind of have a deadline. Not for the story or anything, not for the stream either, but for making outfits for a Victorian ball that we're going to next week. And, yeah.
I'm glad you slept more. That's good.
That is very unfortunate news.
Why?
Because that means that any other day was pretty meh.
Yeah, I guess. And if she went to sleep faster than you guys did, well, aside from you not being able to fall asleep, I could hear you guys still talking.
Mm-hmm.
If she fell asleep before you guys finished talking, she would have gone about 7 hours of sleep, which is still decent.
Quick, on to the story then!
Thank you so much!
Hell yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for you to finish your thingy and then hoping that Dragonwolf would come in, because then at least we have the party that is mostly
the
here.
usual bunch.
Yeah. That's a great question. How is Vixie?
Yes.
Or you could show your short sheet like that.
I don't know.
You can't show your short.
It is packed in a bag.
If I didn't, she's also dead. Okay, cool.
Cool.
If she
Nice.
doesn't, I can also. If I didn't already, I can also share the picture because I have a picture of it.
Well, I have trans-colored nails, which are
Can't
white
see that.
on stream. It's
Your thigh area.
These two are blue, and the rest is pink, and that's for the other one. It's the other way around.
It's really nice.
Have you been doing crunch?
I've also made one for Apple, which is blue. Blue. Okay, she doesn't know where Holy is, I think, which is fine. You don't have to keep looking. She's gonna keep looking.
Determined.
I didn't expect much else. Yes, we did find the little otter that I made for Holy.
Yes.
She's a little pumpkin.
Yes.
More searches are being made for the little short. Working out did not go so well. I'm guessing.
Oh, it could also be it did go so well
that it now hurts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is supposed to hurt a little. She found it. It's gonna be white on stream.
Yep.
Can I?
Colors are blown out.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a great way to show color.
Yes.
There you go. It's pink.
Pink.
Now just don't forget them again. They're now on the table.
Yes.
Not forget. Although you have so many things you shouldn't forget, I'm sure we're gonna check everything twice just to be sure.
I think by the time we leave, your house is lighter than it was when we came in.
I mean, it already is. Momo took her crinoline, which has been here for 3 weeks. They are very cute, yes. But yeah, let's dive into the story. I think. Because we need to get through.
Let's go.
She exchanged it for a sewing machine. Yeah, that is true. She did leave her sewing machine.
Yeah, that is probably heavier. I would hope so.
I think so, yeah.
I would hope so.
Ready?
Wah!
Chapter 19. Zenith had worked on the servos for Idas for quite a while, but she was worried. After a while, she got up and walked over to Idas' bed. Squirrel, are you awake? Zenith asked cautiously. Yeah, I'm awake, she responded timidly. Can we talk? Sure, I'll be there in a sec. Like she said, within a few seconds, the curtains to Idas' bed opened. While I was going through the servos, I was thinking, she said, waving her arm to the table with several finished servos. When we were in Meyerfeld Library, I had a talk with Dew. You might remember she was really upset that they had altered my body against my consent. We talked alone after, and she made a compelling argument for choice. She mentioned that people should accept you for who you are. I wanted to say this right, but I'm not sure what the precedent is for moments like this. I'm not used to it. Sorry. So many texts in one. Messed me up. I should have asked if she wanted it at all. It was wrong of me to assume that she wanted this. I need to apologize to her, but I don't know how yet. Ida sat down at the table, fidgeting with the servos. So far, I've noticed that when you're honest, it works out. I'm sure she'll appreciate the apology, regardless of how you word it. Thanks, Z. You say you don't know how to handle these kinds of situations, but you do know what to say to help people out of them. Idas gave her a soft smile. I don't like seeing you guys upset. I'm glad I could help, she answered, grabbing the parts for another servo out of the box. I'm gonna go test these little ones, to get my mind moving, you know? Idas grabbed a bunch at once and walked to the workstation. As Ida sat down, Hazard walked through the door. Zenith looked around Hazard to see if Delira was following, but she wasn't. Welcome back.
The little lady said she would follow a bit later. I managed to calm her down, but she wanted some time alone.
Hazard scratched the back of his head.
So, I assume you already talked this through together?
He followed up. Yeah, it was wrong of me. I need to apologize when she comes back. Thanks for calming her down, Ida said with a gentle smile.
Don't mention it. That's what friends are. I mean, your kids can't handle anything these days. I need a cup of brew.
His face got red as he walked to the kitchen. Soon they heard the water boiling and him making a cup of kukuru. Suddenly, the doors of the workshop opened, and in from the light, Delira emerged. Hey, welcome back, Zenith said with a small smile. Hey, she responded, unsure what emotion to show. Hey, Dew, I want to apologize for everything about the prosthetic I made. Ida slowly walked over from her workstation. I thought I was doing the right thing until your reaction opened my eyes. I should have asked you if you'd even wanted me to do such a thing. It's not just about asking permission. It made me feel like I'm not good enough, not adequate without 2 fully functioning arms. Like I needed to be fixed. I was stupid, blinded by my creation that I didn't take your feelings and choices into account. I don't know what else to say other than I'm sorry. I would also understand if you just want me to shut up now. Idas looked away. I understand why you did it. I don't think I'm angry at you anymore. However, I can't let go of how this made me feel just yet. So, we're still friends? Idas asked tentatively. I need time. I'll give you an answer later. Delira went to sit next to Zenith. Okay, I'll give you the time you need. Idas walked back to her station and continued her work. Hazard came out of the kitchen with not 1, but 2 cups of pakuru and went to give one to Idas. Shall I grab us some water? Zenith asked Delira. Yes, thanks. Zenith walked over to the kitchen and filled a glass of water for the both of them. As she walked back towards the table, the front door opened to reveal Valentina and Ira packed with several bags. I guess the trip was productive, Zenith said, putting the drinks on the table. Very productive, Valentina plopped the bags down next to the table and then herself into a chair.
What were you gals getting again?
Some sleeping mats to be able to sleep a bit more comfortably. I have a new blanket and, well, in a place like Meredith we couldn't help to just shop around a little, Ira said with a content smile on her face. She had also put her bags down on the place she had slept the night before. How has everything been going here? You seem to have done a lot of work, Valentina said, pointing at the servo Zenith had worked on for most of the day. Progress has been made all around, but Zia's got a knack for reading blueprints. Ida's walked over to them from her work table. I went out to get some fresh air, Delira said, once again absorbed in her book. They both tried to skirt around mentioning what really happened.
I just made a nice amount of pakoro. Anyone interested?
I wouldn't mind a cuppa, Ira said, thankful. She sat down and started unpacking some of the things she had bought. I have that shirt too, but mine is teal-colored. Ira had just pulled out an identical shirt to the one that she had bought the week earlier. Zenith went to grab her own and showed it next to Ira's red copy. They started to talk about the other things Ira had bought. As promised, just in time to make dinner, the doors to the warehouse opened, and Lachlan entered with a flourish.
Everyone missed me, right?
He added a wink.
Missed lunch, more like it.
Got what you wanted to get? Valentina asked. Lachlan was carrying one small bag with him. He opened it to reveal a packet of yeast and some different kinds of seeds.
I ran out to do some money-related things and to mail out some letters. But I did find this lovely bakery that sold live yeast. So if we have a dull moment, I can teach Z how to make bread with all kinds of additions.
He said, waving at the things on the table. Oh, that sounds like fun, Zenith answered excitedly from the kitchen. She had already started cleaning some vegetables for dinner before Lachlan came back.
How was the day for everyone else? Did you all do anything productive?
Z made a lot of these thingies that I needed. V and Ira went into the city, and Do made some headway into her book. Right, Do? Ida's asked. Delira didn't respond, pretending to be absorbed in her book that she didn't realize the question.
Ah, that does sound productive.
Lachlan looked around and his eyes landed on Hazard.
Did you have a good day?
I woke up, had a brew. Things been good going.
Hazard put his hands behind his head.
Rest is often also productive in its own right.
Lachlan conceded with a smirk. He took the items into the kitchen and started helping Zenith with the food for that evening.
You chose well. I was really looking forward to those cabosses,
he said, pointing at the stocky vegetables with the bulbous root underneath. They cleaned and prepared a good hearty meal together, and as they finished, Zenith invited everyone to eat at the table. Everybody gathered around the table and took a seat. Zenith sat in between Ida's and Valentina, and saw Delira try to sit opposite Ida's. No one else really noticed it, except Ida's, who looked down at her still empty plate. When Lachlan walked around putting food on each of the plates, she looked up. So tomorrow we go to the basin of Arlesh? What do you guys expect we'll find there? Ira asked when Lachlan finished plating.
Water, most likely.
Hazard responded with his mouth full. Yes, Smarty, but that's not what she meant. We expect to find another one of those rocks that we used to capture the imps, but we can't be sure if it's there. I was mostly wondering if we can expect to find more imps, if the rock will just be there, or if it will be hidden somehow. I hope there aren't any imps. The stone we have is at capacity. If we run into any, we will be in trouble.
I would assume that Tempest is secured somewhere near or in that basin,
Lachlan said before putting some vegetables into his mouth.
In it? You think we'll have to swim for it?
Hazard asked, exasperated.
We might have to. Who knows?
Don't worry, Hazard. If you can't swim, I'm sure someone else would be willing.
Can't swim? Poppycock. I just don't want my metal limbs to get wet.
Well, rust would be a real pain, Valentina said, nodding understandingly. We'll have to see tomorrow what comes on our path then.
Maybe packing some extra clothes would be a good precaution,
Lachlan said to no one in particular. The food is nice, Delira said out of nowhere. Thank you, Zenith said, and Lachlan left it at a nod. Several conversations popped up during dinner. The food was gone and the dishes were brought to the kitchen. Zenith, Ira, and Valentina were in conversation about the new bedrolls. Ida's was explaining to Hazard how she would remove rust from prosthesis joints, and Delira and Lachlan spent their evening reading. By the end of the night, Delira finished her book. She closed it with a snap and saw that most of the others had already gone to sleep, so she decided to go as well. With a soft goodnight to Zenith, she went to lay down on her mat and quickly fell asleep. Hello, Rob! Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
I don't know if you stayed, but hello.
Isn't that the different border? Aren't we usually in full screen on the other border?
Main story hero.
Oh. In any case, hello, welcome in. How you doing?
I don't have another chat. Hello, Ram.
Hello, Ram.
Welcome in. How are you?
Yes. How you guys doing?
I'm gonna take a sippy.
You should. Hello.
Talking a lot.
Yes.
And there's more to come.
Oh yes.
How be the fire dude?
Yes. And the bearded dragon.
Both are bearded.
Yeah.
Both have a fairly impressive beard.
Mm.
Yes. And so do you.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
It's better than when I met you.
It's nothing compared to them.
Okay, well, I'll concede to that. But it's definitely better than when I met you.
Tired.
Tired.
Well, that's live.
Careful. I usually take those away, but I didn't
Yeah.
have time
Oh,
anymore.
that's fine. They aren't in my way. I skid off of the handrail that I was leaning on.
Yeah.
My hands are moist.
That's fair. Yes, and Lovi, Fixie, pat pat. You're doing all the pat pats.
Yes. Pat pat.
Hello.
Hello.
That's usually how we start our calls. Hello.
I usually start
And if-
with hola.
If we don't, like, if it isn't hello or hola, it's like, are you okay? Yes. Use protection.
Yeah. I have pat protection.
Again, I don't want to wait too long, but for the
We're on a tight schedule
Yeah.
over here.
we need to get going.
Usually we would chat for
20 minutes.
an hour.
1 hour in the entire stream, yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pet pet. Yeah. Pet pet. Yeah. And also pet the apple. She's doing all the work.
She's doing
Such a
all the work.
great person. Yes, Apple needs pets too. And a hug.
She's been working
And
for
all the
8
things.
days a week.
Yes.
25 hours a day.
Thankfully, it's like half of it is actually fun to her as well.
Yeah.
That's at least something. It makes work a little easier.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Apple.
Apple. Did you choke on that word, Ram?
No.
On the word, not the apple. You say you enjoy all of it, but I can imagine that there are some parts where you're like,
Yes, the 24 hours that she can't go working on clothing, but actually has to go to work.
That is fair. Also, like, when you figure out that something doesn't fit and it's the final version, the 4 hours of horrible work that you need to do. But that's hindsight pain.
4 hours of horrible work after midnight.
Some things are frustrating.
Again.
But it'll look so
That's
pretty when we're
live.
done. It'll look so pretty when it's done.
Oh, yeah.
It already
so
does,
good.
actually. Most of the costumes have shape and stuff.
Round is a shape.
Yes. Yes.
So we're all in shape.
Yes.
Polygonal shapes.
I am in key shape.
Yes.
I don't need a different shape.
Well, you're a polygon.
Is that a Pokemon?
No, that's a Porygon.
No, close enough.
Which is based on a polygon. Fire is a shape. Correct.
Yes. It's really pretty shape. I just don't like fire. I mean, I would. If that makes you actually happy.
I'm sorry we're impeding on your progress.
I'm sure she is still doing things.
Oh, yes.
If it's not crocheting, then it will be still on the... Yeah, that's fair.
Well, we're currently impeding on your progress because we're trying to get you to chat.
That's also fair, yeah.
And then you need to put it away, grab your phone, typey, put it back, start again.
And then she hears something before she can actually start again, need to grab the phone again. Oh no, this is fine. She needs a break.
This is fine. Fire!
Yes, fire.
Yes. You can actually see me.
Yeah. The blue especially.
Yeah, the blue especially, which is this one. Oh no, that's the big one. This one. That is blue.
Are we? No. We are always this way.
Yeah, we are. I'm just dumb. It's fine. I'm used to the other way around. Because I put my own stuff mirrored.
I can't remember if we usually have it the other way around.
No, we have it like this. I do remember.
You see the math symbols coming back? I can't remember.
I remember.
Wow. Well done.
Because it has always bothered me the same way.
Oh, you don't like this?
I don't care.
Saying it bothers you and then saying you don't care does not compute.
Math symbols.
Yeah.
No, but I don't really care. I don't mind.
Okay. Good.
Like if I were to put this or set this up on my own or at my own space, then I would have changed it. I would have swapped it. But I'm used to that. I'm used to being able to point at a corner
and it being
the correct corner, which is actually what I was pointing at was that one over there, and in my mind I'm pointing at that corner.
I wouldn't mind having to change it. I just have to get used to it again.
Yeah.
If that makes you happy, I have no problems with that.
Well,
it takes me 2 streams and I'll be used to it because clearly I already forgot that this is usually the thing.
I think consistency is more important.
Yeah. It's also why we always sit at the same side.
Because of autism.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yes. Time to continue.
Yes.
Let's go.
Lazy go.
Everybody ready?
I mean, you better be. She's not at her phone. She can't do the ready thing. She's the only moderator there.
I gave her thumbs up. We're ready.
Chapter 20. In the morning, Lachlan reminded everyone that the trip was long and they didn't know how long the search would be. Everyone packed something to sleep on, while he and Zenith prepared food to take with them. He even promised her that he would teach her how to cook over a campfire. They went on their way, and when they arrived at Meyerville Station, they headed east on foot, walking across all of the suspended bridges in search of the lake.
Nothing but murky puddles all day. I've had it.
I'll make you Pagoro for a week if you keep your eyes peeled and you're complaining to a minimum.
We've only been walking for an hour. This looks mostly like the swamp. I think the lake will be clearer water. I think we're getting close.
The swamp can't go on forever. Keep your head held high. We'll be there soon. Valentina's ever-jovial attitude seemed to settle some unease and boosted the spirits around the group. Another half an hour later, they finally found the edge of the lake. They had walked through a muddy, swampy forest the entire time, but the lake was surrounded by a sturdier forest. They could barely see the other side of the lake if it hadn't been for the trees that lined it. South from where they were standing, they could see the land rolling down and a river going with it.
We made it! The water looks really clear. My legs are killing me. Shall we take a break or eat something maybe?
Yes, let's find a less muddy spot, Valentina said, already looking along the shoreline.
Seems more sturdy over here.
Hazard stomped the ground with his big boots. Let's lay out a blanket for us to sit on. Ira walked over. Valentina pulled out a blanket and laid it down. It was rather large, so everyone could sit comfortably. Lachlan pulled out some bread, cheeses, meat, and of course some fruits, and placed it in the middle of the blanket.
A picnic, how lovely.
Now that we have arrived, where do we start looking?
It's easiest to look around the shoreline first. See if there's any ruins like the one we found the other relic at,
Zenith said as she handed Delira some of the fruit and kept one for herself.
Good point, see? Although if there's ruins, it may have already been found. We didn't think the other one was a relic. It was just a stone I brushed clean. Maybe we can find another one of those tablets with text on it. I'd love to do some more translating.
What are you talking about? Ruins? Tablets? Translating? Did I sleep through an explanation again? That's where our journey started.
Lachlan said, and then he pointed at Ida's, Delira, and Zenith.
Where I met these lovely young ladies.
Y'all never really explained how or where you met.
Well, we met at the ruins near Tarlon. Dew and Squirrel were both busy with their own work when we met. I kind of bumped into Delira. I offered my help to apologize, and when Idas was also helping us, we found a door. When the door opened, all of the imps were hunting down flew out, and Lachlan heard the commotion and came to help too. We found this rock, and when it was held right, it opened a vortex to catch the imps, and since we let them loose, we decided we should catch them again.
That's a very condensed version.
I only ever read stories, not tell them.
That's no problem. You did tell all the facts.
There's a longer version? Sounds like an adventure. Can you care to tell the entire tale?
I'd be happy to.
As they divided up the rest of the food, Lachlan dove into a detailed account of what had happened that day and all of their adventures since. Idas, Zenith, and Delira all chimed in at some points to correct or add information, but he was a good storyteller. After they had all eaten some food and rested from the long journey, it was Delira who got up first. I'd like to go see if there's anything from my ancestors here. I'd like to start the search. Zenith got up and stood next to her, ready to go.
You can. Go ahead while we clean this up.
If you walk along the trees and I walk along the shore, we can cover quite a bit of ground together already, Delira said to Zenith.
Well, what am I looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary, Valentina said, also getting up and following them. Slowly, everyone got up from the blanket. The three ladies set off in a chosen direction in search of anything that looked peculiar, while the others cleared up the blanket and the food. The girls had already made it quite far. The others in the group split up as well, and with an increased speed, trying to catch up to the ladies in front, while they still double-checking the areas they had passed. Zenith and Valentina were joined by Idas and Ira, while Lachlan and Hazard followed Delira. After about an hour of their search, as everyone was drinking something to regain their strength and they compared their findings, Delira walked up to the water's edge. No one had found anything that didn't belong in the forest or on the shore. Zenith walked up next to Delira and just stood there in silence, looking over the bright blue lake that shimmered in the warm sun. I miss it sometimes. I love swimming. I used to do it every day.
What changed?
I went to search dusty ruins for answers.
What's holding you back to go for a swim now?
We have much more important things to do right now.
Since you walk along the shore, you could always take off your shoes and walk in the line of water. It's not the same as swimming, but you'll be in the water for a bit.
Getting your feet wet. Not something I should try, but you can.
Hazard smiled at her. Delira smiled softly at Zenith and nodded. And that's a good idea.
Shall we do one more perimeter sweep? That way we can meet on the opposite side again. Set up camp and rest for the night.
Yeah, let's do it. Or let's go.
Delira took off her shoes and socks. She also pulled up the legs of her pants and stepped into the waterline. Where her skin had been the same as Zenith's before, the water made her skin shimmer in a very light blue translucent scales.
Oh, that's really pretty,
Zenith whispered to Delira. They divided up the group again. Half of them went to the tree line, the others stayed on shore, close to Delira, who walked in the waterline. When they had searched for a good long while, and it was getting darker around them, they found a dry place along the shore and set up a little camp. Time for a good campfire.
Time for a good campfire.
Sorry, I was confused because it seemed to go darker, and I
saw
felt
that too.
I had to keep going.
That's
was really
okay.
confusing.
No problem.
Can you do your line again?
Time for a good campfire.
Lachlan said, excitedly looking for dry wood around them.
If you search for dry wood too, Hazard, then I will light it when you got enough.
Ida's waved her crystal gun.
Then Zenith can do the food. I think she's prepared.
All by myself?
Zenith asked wide-eyed. I'd love to taste what you can make on your own.
Do I have to go get that alone? We're much faster together.
I'll join you. You go one way, I go the other.
Fine. I'll go this way.
He grumbled and went slightly into the tree line where they could still see him. How's the water? I walked over to Dalira, who was sitting at the shoreline with her feet in the water. It's nice and cool compared to the warm, sunny day, she said, clearly content to be near the water. Can I join you? Ira asked after waiting for a response question from Dalira, who seemed to have trouble keeping the conversation going. Sure, Dalira said, waving her hand beside her. The scales on your feet shimmer nicely. Does that happen to all the skin that touches the water? The lady asked. Dalira pulled her feet towards her. Not sure how to react, she responded. Yeah, I guess it does. Sorry for asking so many questions. I read somewhere that talking to shy people may get them to open up, but that likely doesn't apply to everyone. I'll leave you to enjoy the water some more. She stood up and walked over to the rest. Ida, standing with her feet very far apart, aimed the gun at the logs and stick. A click sounded, followed by a roar, followed by a blinding light. When everyone looked back, there was a calm, contained fire over which Lachlan hung a pot of water. While everyone had been busy, Zenith had been cutting up the vegetables that Lachlan had given her. She started by adding the vegetables that would need the longest to cook. Over the next hour, every now and then she would add different vegetables and some herbs. She kept stirring it until it became a thick vegetable stew.
Did anyone remember to bring plates or bowls? It's nearly done.
I actually have been carving them for a while, so I hope they're watertight. I couldn't finish all of them, but I have 4. We can eat in 2 batches. Valentina showed the hand-carved bowls.
Wow, that's so cool.
Ida's ran over to her.
You made those?
Zenith asked, taking one from her.
Oh, I'd almost be scared to pour food into it.
Well, that's what they're for. Please use them, Valentina said with a proud smile. Zenith started pouring some stew in the bowl and handed it down to receive the next from Valentina. The group sat together, sharing the bowls to eat from. They talked until the fire dimmed down, at which point they one by one went to their own sleeping place. Dalira, who had been bathing her feet and running her hand over the water's surface for most of the evening, went to her sleeping spot when everybody was already well asleep. Everyone except Zenith, who was wide awake again after an hour or 2 of meditating, waiting for the morning sun to wake the rest. So many words. And my throat being annoying.
Yeah, for some reason. It just happens, I guess.
I immediately see Apple sitting down so she can chat.
Muy importante.
Nah. Maybe, yes.
It's classified.
Fair. I hope you guys are liking it, even though it's a little faster than normal.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a faster. Well, it's mostly the in-betweens that are faster this time. It's like we do still talk at the same speed.
I still stumble over my own words, clearly.
As much.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Still very fun. Good.
Good.
Well, I'm really hoping that soon I'm gonna just get a huge message from Frog and Momo saying, like, I saw this and that and blah blah blah, because they finally saw everything.
Yeah.
I miss them in chat. it's for a good reason. Yes. All the necessities. But yeah, we're searching the lake. Well, the basin of Arlesh.
Yes, the basin of Irish, was it?
I didn't say that.
No, you almost did.
It's really difficult to say words in Irish.
Yeah. It's usually because the Irish don't. They just words.
And at some point where there was one line where the Lyra came back into the workshop and it says subtly.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a word, but it also sounds like I say suddenly, which is not what I said.
No.
I said it correctly, but in my head I was like, it sounds wrong. Oh, what? How?
Is it not turned on? Is it not in the thing?
That one.
Oh! So it did actually dim.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, the battery just almost died.
We almost had no more stream.
Yeah. Apparently there was one cable. Like the cable into the adapter.
Just before stream, the adapter fell on the floor. I think that's when that happened. I think it didn't hit they didn't think everything hit the floor at the same time. I mean, I would have tried to get it back. But yes, it would have been sad.
Yeah, and you would have panicked. Same for me, by the way.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Why did that just happen? But we figured it out and everything's fine.
Thankfully, my computer is really good with warning, because that was actually 15%. So it's not immediately empty.
That's good.
But it is annoying and scary for a second.
That's
Especially
also
when
why
you think everything is connected. And why I got confused. I tried to put my cable back in thinking that it was at the computer part. Or it was
computer end.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
And it mostly scared me because this screen didn't turn on with the button before. I was like, well, did something go wrong with that block? Is that why it's being annoying? But then it turned on, so it can't have been.
It's also a giant brick.
Yes.
It is literally like this wide.
Not only that, that brick is one of 4 things on the entire fuse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no big items on that fuse.
No.
This socket behind here and 2 in the hallway. That's it.
Yeah, and also this one has its own fuse built in.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that it's still like if it's too much, it would still short circuit.
It will short circuit that one first.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't know that.
What's shortest circuit? So whenever that's the fun thing about electronics is path of least resistance, which is the closest thing that it will go through. And if something short circuits and your fuse blows out, that is always the closest to the source. And if the closest to the source is your fuse box, your circuit breakers.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for before.
Then yeah, that's then that is where it shuts down. If you have fuses on all of your appliances, then they short circuit first. They burn through first.
Actually, how did it work? Friday.
Oh.
I think I told you that the vacuum stopped working, and then I was scared that Frank was gonna blame me for it.
Oh yeah, right.
That was Thursday, and then Friday he had brought it back in, and I put it in the back, and it worked. Because I was like, I'm not gonna put that in the store and then try it out first. And I was gonna try it out in the back first.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be useless. And it worked. It sounded a little rattly, but it worked. It did the thing. So I took it forward. I put it into the same extension cord as all of the air bubble machines that we have.
Yeah.
And the entire fuse blew. So we needed to go flip the switch. He's like, what happened? I was like, I put in the vacuum. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, I put in the vacuum. I turned it on and then it blew out everything. It's like, you can't blame me for this. I didn't fix this. You did that. But he didn't. He went to do the breaker and it was fine. Hello, Sue. That's a while ago. How are you doing?
How you doing, bud?
Shouldn't you be sleeping?
No.
I think it's like 4 a.m. in there.
Well,
Apple was still working at 4 a.m.
Not last night.
Not last night.
Also, that's a dumb idea. I shouldn't do that. Sleep is important.
Doing well.
Tired.
Doing well, tired. Mostly just tired. But other than that, doing fine. Close to 2 a.m.
That's not too bad.
Oh, that's doable. It's still late though, so. But yeah, much appreciated of you jumping in.
Absolutely.
I'm tired from life.
Also, like a full weekend of people over.
And a full work week.
That's fair.
40 hours of work. And a full weekend of people. And
you're gonna sleep so well tonight in your own bed?
I doubt. Well, I will be in my own bed.
It'll be easier to fall asleep?
Yes.
You may not still be rested, but at least you'll get more. And you'll get, like, to sleep.
Yes.
At least you'll get to sleep.
Absolutely.
Now the question is, would I have if you guys hadn't confiscated an hour here? Yeah, no, you would have kept going until 4.
Yes. Yes, you would have.
Yeah. I'm mostly tired because I don't sleep, by the way. He's tired from full work week. I'm tired because I can't sleep. My brain gives me 2 hours and it's like, yeah, well, good luck.
I sleep, but I don't rest.
We should combine instead of like switch. Just combine that because I rest fine. I just don't sleep enough. You can get the amount of rest I get.
0.
No, I do. That's kind of my point. Like, I rest when I'm asleep.
Yeah, but I don't function on an hour.
No, but that's why combining. We take your hours, my rest, stretch it out a little bit. We both feel better. Then you have one night, I have the other. You're still tired.
Yep.
Maybe not. But it's fun to work while hearing you all in the background. That's also fair.
That is good.
Key and Holly waking up to the sounds of the sewing machine. I think if he's actually fully asleep, he's fine. Are you that light of a sleeper?
Well, if I'm not at home, yes.
Yeah, okay, but then it's all the way upstairs instead of in the bedroom.
Exactly.
And you were laying right there.
Yeah.
And the sewing machine was standing right here. So that was not going to happen.
I had noise cancelling headphones in. And I hoped it would help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was the little box that I saw.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
fair.
sir.
The little plugs.
Little earbuds.
Mm.
These ones.
How can you just... Without throwing it. I don't understand.
Well, it's all rounded. You just grab it as a bloop. In any case, I was using those.
Yeah. And still you didn't sleep that well.
Nope.
Oh well. You're gonna sleep good sleep.
I hope you sleep better than us.
Yes.
We wish you
I wish that
sleep.
for almost anyone.
We wish you rest. Have a good sleep. Thanks for coming over.
I'm glad the work was easy with us playing in the background. Because to me, that actually feels worse. Because I feel like I should be helping because you're doing all the things and we're just playing a game.
In a sense, I get that. On the other hand, if we can't help, then we can't help.
Yeah. But it's also, like, I did so much beforehand. Before we even ever thought about playing a game.
Oh, yeah.
I have to keep reminding myself that I did a lot because I keep feeling that I've been useless. But I've done a lot.
Well, I just go right into playing a game. Because the only thing I can do is not be in the way. So...
Yeah. But you helped a bit today. You did the better things, which is still helping. No, it's still helping. It's getting things out of the way. That I don't need to do that, and I can help out.
Yeah, but that's different. For anything that... whenever I'm at home, Apple's just doing her thing, making the things, and the only thing that I can't do, because I can't do any of that shit, it's way too difficult for me. I'm very, very much inexperienced in all of it. So the easiest thing for me to do is just not be in the way.
And help her.
And whenever
things.
whenever I need to hold things, I can do that. Well, apparently I
So-
can't. I still throw them everywhere.
Just don't throw the sewing stuff in your bag. Just throw your own stuff. No.
Like a basketball.
Bad idea. I'm going to struggle through the next chapter. There's something stuck in my throat. Yes, please don't. On any of them. Not mine, not Momo's, not hers.
Well, I wasn't planning on it.
Okay, good.
I try not to move them.
I think maybe at some point when hers breaks, like if she doesn't want to see it anymore, you might be able to throw it out the window.
No.
If it doesn't work anymore.
No, out of the window would really mess up the street because that is a floor down.
Yeah, that's true.
Or on top of someone else's roof.
That's true. Well, that's the other. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I had actually looked out the window in the kitchen, so I didn't know that. But that's fair.
Probably not.
Maybe not. But that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, when that one breaks down, we'll get a nice new one.
Also fair. She definitely uses them enough to warrant getting one that's really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, there's always a difference, right? I have a fairly good sewing machine, but it's secondhand because it came from my mother-in-law. It works fine. It's a little bit annoying, but it works fine. I would never have bought this for myself because when I got this, or well, technically I'm borrowing it, but she said she doesn't need it back, so let's assume that it's mine. When I got this, the only thing I would use it for would be like small things, like making a pillowcase for a pillow, or because I found a nice fabric or whatever, something basic. And now that I've actually been starting to actually make things, if I now would buy one, I would probably buy a good one for myself that I'm happy with.
Which one? Which one was your which one did you get in mind? Which one do you want to get? Also, what's the price tag on it?
I'm guessing with it's pretty good, but not the greatest.
Oh,
she means mine.
Brother.
Yeah, Brother's a good brand. I have a Singer, but it's actually really old.
Singer songs.
Oh, you meant your own. Okay, fair. Anyway, should we continue with the last chapter?
Yes, we should. Yes.
Yay! Momo's works really nice and it's not that expensive. That is fair.
Good.
Brothers are not too.
That's always that is kind of the thing with Brother as well. Like almost all of Brother products are like a good middle ground where it's good enough and not too expensive.
Yeah. It's still an actual brand that will work well, but it's not like the cheapest of the bunch that is like crappy quality.
Exactly.
Like TriStar, which I had one and that's ridiculous and doesn't work all that well.
Isn't that the brand they use at the Action?
No. Maybe. I don't remember.
No,
I think my mom got it at the Aldi
It was
that I had. But it's like one of those cheap things, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Are we all ready?
Let's do this. Well, I'm already.
You better be. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Chapter 21. Subtle snoring emanated over the calm waters of the lake. Tiny waves ebbed back and forth along the water's edge. The lake was a serene steel blue with small ripples along its surface. Zenith hadn't brought any of her supplies to write anything down, so when she was done with meditating, she just looked out over the water as the shade and sun cast different colors over it. Calming, isn't it? The water is cleaner than I expected, so close to a marsh. Delira walked up. Even though she was the last to go to sleep, she was the first to awaken. It looks beautiful, Zenith agreed. She tapped the space beside her, offering Delira to sit down. She sat down, putting her feet in the water. She didn't seem as shy about it as the day before. Did you get some rest?
I meditated. I don't really need much,
Zenith said with a little smile.
I don't really need to eat either, but I've really come to appreciate a meal.
She wiggled her feet into the water too and giggled at the coolness of it.
I hope you managed to sleep a little. You're early compared to the others.
I slept surprisingly well. I don't need much either, as opposed to Hazard who could sleep all day. Delira joked. She didn't joke often, which made it feel out of the blue. Zenith let out another soft giggle that she suppressed by pressing her hand to her mouth.
He does know how to sleep. Hey, yesterday you mentioned missing the swim. Why not go now, while everyone is still sleeping?
That's actually a good idea. If anyone asks where I went, you know where. Delira stood up. She slowly waded further into the water, took off her blouse and cravat, and as the water touched more skin, more scales took its place. The diamond-like scales shimmered in the morning sun. Thanks, Zenith, for the little talk. She turned around before diving in. As Delira dove into the water, her skin transformed. The scales became more pronounced, and the webbing between her fingers and toes grew, giving her a significant boost in speed. While underwater, she moved her head from side to side to open up the gills that had been hidden beneath the collar of her shirt. Her vision became blurred as soon as she jumped into the water. Being used to the air, the surface made it hard to acquaint herself with underwater vision. After a few seconds, her vision cleared up. The small rocks and shells extended to the bottom of the lake, slowly turning into sand the more water was above it. Large rock formations jutted upward, almost reaching the water's surface. Within the shadows below Delira started seeing remnants of bricks and roads, so she went in closer to investigate. Much like the ruins at Tarlon, the signs of a past civilization were there, but it had been abandoned and left to the elements. Where sand and sun destroyed the first ruins she saw, water had reclaimed its territory here. Algae and weeds grew on all of the rocks, and small fish dove away at the sight of her approaching. She debated if she should go back to the group to let them know what she saw, or to push on and investigate right away. Making up her mind, she dashed to the ruins to see if she could find anything. Swimming between open archways into houses and through interesting-looking structures, she ended up reaching a larger opening into the rock formation. Tomes, frayed by the water, were organized along the walls. Delira swam closer to pick one up. In her fingers she noticed the decay was only on the cover, as the pages were somehow kept pristine. She searched several of the shelves, trying to see if she could find anything helpful, but all she found was old records, and while she was immensely curious to read there for days, it wasn't what they were searching for. She couldn't read all of the words, because some of them were in vastly different languages than she had seen before. She tried a few more, but soon gave up and started on her way out. At the side of the opening there was a small alcove, and curiosity took over. Delira swam up to it and looked at the little altar that had been made there. A stone slab lay there, akin to the one they had found at the other ruins. Looking across the altar, she found more tomes and tablets. Grabbing as much as she could carry, she went back to the surface. Swimming down was much easier than back up, burdened by the weight of the scriptures. As she broke the surface, Zenith was still looking out over the lake, but her expression was worried. When she spotted Delira, her body showed only relief.
I was so worried. I didn't think anyone could be under the water for that long.
Delira swam closer to shore, and Zenith went to retrieve a towel for her. Zenith had taken all of the tablets from Delira as she handed over the towel. Delira wrapped it tightly around her upper body.
There was a city?
Zenith asked excitedly, looking at all the different texts. Emphasis on was. All that is left is ruins from age, and the water corroding the bricks. Somehow the literature is all intact.
Maybe they protected it with magic. Knowledge is precious, after all.
Everyone had woken up in the time that Delira had spent in the water. The sun was fully up and the camp was being broken up slowly.
Can I translate these? Were there more?
Zenith asked, laying the tablets in a specific order. Never way more. This was all I could carry in one go. but I can go back to get more. The nymph already inched to the water.
Yes, please.
Zenith muttered, already starting on the first tablet. With a small wave, she turned around to face the water, threw off the towel, and dove in. The dive was very clean, no splashes, except for a few droplets landing on the beach, sparkling in the sun. As Delira dove down, Lachlan looked after her and noticed a dark shadow pass under the surface of the water, over where she had just disappeared.
Delira,
He called after her, but she couldn't hear him anymore.
What's wrong?
I saw a shadow. Could be a normal fish, I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, Delira rushed towards the building she had retrieved the tablets from to gather more for Zenith. As she collected as much as she could carry, from one of the windows she saw a group of small fish rush past. Being a bit slower with her arms full, she started pushing her way back up to the surface. Just as her face broke the surface, she felt something grab onto her ankle. She couldn't scream before being dragged back into the water. The creature that dragged her down looked like a giant fish with a squid for a head. It swam at high speeds with the gargantuan fins and caught prey with his tentacles on its face. Within one of those tentacles was Delira, carefully trying to hold on to the toe she grabbed and her consciousness. The monster was shaking vigorously to have her drop the books to no avail. Delira tried getting loose from the beast's grip, but with so many books in her arms it was hard to push off. It's my life with the books, she thought to herself as she dropped half of her haul. The fish looked in her direction, saw the books fall, and swam away from them, sending a shockwave through the water to push the tomes closer to the ruins they came from. With Delira still stuck in the monster's grasp, she was dragged along to a cave entrance. Back on the shore, Lachlan and Zenith had rounded everyone to look over the water, after he had seen the shadow. It didn't go unnoticed that the water became disturbed further from shore. We can't stay under as long as she can, Valentina said, now worried as well.
I'll try,
Zenith said suddenly as she was already wading into the water.
I don't need food or sleep. Maybe I can handle no air for a while too. Z, are you sure this is a smart plan? Try holding your breath above water first. There isn't time to test how long. What if she's in danger?
Zenith said, but taking a deep breath and holding it anyway.
She can test it underwater. Zenith, if your lungs start burning, you're too late. Make sure to make your way up before that happens, or as soon as it feels anywhere near that.
Lachlan said and turned to Ida.
She can try.
Apparently, I'm the only one that thinks one of her friends is in danger is probably enough. Why not add a second? You want to join them down there too, Lachlan? If you're so set on going to help, then it's fine with me. Just come back safely, with Delira.
Idas walked to where the count was this morning and sat on the grass. Hazard joined her.
You know, it was a valiant attempt. I understand how you feel. I don't want to lose them either. However, if Zenith doesn't try, you can't be sure that Delira will come back. It's okay to get upset over your feelings, but realize that all they try is to get our friend back to safety.
You're right, old man. I'm just gonna go say sorry to Lachlan, and to Zenith if she's still there.
Ida sat with her arms crossed on her knees and the lower part of her face buried in her arms, muffling her speech. She got up and walked back to the shore.
Did Zenith go in already? I came to apologize for lashing out. I just want my friends to be safe.
She did. She promised to come back before it starts burning.
Lachlan said, a worried look on his face, looking out over the water. Zenith was swimming down into the water. She wasn't used to swimming. Flying was quite literally the opposite, and her wings were giving her a lot of resistance in the water. She had seen the webbing between Delira's fingers and realized it helped her to swim, so, after some time, she tried to move the wings in the water. It didn't push her much faster, but having them move along with her arms caused less resistance, so she kept doing it. She kept her eyes trained on the bottom of the lake. As she reached it, she saw several tablets laying on the floor. A rough current pushed her and the tablets towards the ruins she could now see. She had to have been under it for over 2 minutes, and she could feel her lungs starting to struggle with the amount of air she had left. She looked around once more as she pushed herself up to the surface. In the distance, she thought she saw something, but she knew that she couldn't go after it immediately. She pushed up and up, her lungs starting to burn more and more, until she broke the surface and took a deep breath. She hurried to the shore, where she was pulled out by Idas and Lachlan, breathing harshly from the effort. As the others hauled Zenith on the shore, she tried to catch her breath again.
It was quite long.
I see her. I saw movement though. I should try again.
Catch your breath first, little lady. If you rush in now, you'll be back on the shore without progress.
Hazard put a large hand on her shoulder, and she took a few deep breaths.
None of us can fly, can we? I mean, I got wings, but these are too thin to carry me. I can only jump.
Idas flittered her wings. A high-pitched noise came from them.
I can fly.
Ira said, her wings materializing on her back.
What you need? I can fly when I catch my breath. Well, then we could have Z in the water, and as Ira has eyes in the sky. That way Ira can point Zenith to where to dive.
I'll see if I can find anything in the water, Ira said. She beat her wings and was flying in a large circle around the lake, scanning as she went. When Zenith could finally control her breathing normally, she went right back up into the water.
Where do I go? I see the ruins about a third of the way in, which she probably already got to. I see some books lying a little further away from the ruins, but I can't find the Lyra yet. Try swim into the ruins first. I was pushed away by the current, from the books towards the ruins. Is there anything in the other direction?
Rocks, sand, more rocks. There has to be more. Ira scanned the lake floor.
I see a darker spot. Maybe investigate there.
She pointed beyond where Zenith could see, past some rocks that nearly broke the water surface. Zenith swam towards the place she had been directed towards.
Am I close?
A little more towards me, but you should be able to dive for it now, Ira said, drifting over to where she said the dark spot was. It looked to be a cave big enough to shelter a quarter of the life in the lake. Definitely big enough for a nymph and a big fish holding her hostage. Zenith took a deep breath and pushed herself under the water. She reached the beginning of the cave when a fast-moving creature came for her. It took Zenith a moment to realize it was the Lyra. Her blue, translucent skin was marred with reddish bruises, and her face was angry. They both stopped in the water for a moment, staring at each other. A webbed hand closed around Zenith's upper arm tightly. We need to get out of the water, the Lyra said, her voice warbled by the water. Zenith had no time to think about the fact that the Lyra could speak, or the little slit she could see on the sides of her throat. The Lyra hauled Zenith up to the surface, and in record time. And together they started swimming to the shore.
Finito.
That's it.
That's it for today.
That is it for today. Very nice. Good.
Almost a cliffhanger, but she's safe. It's a thing. What the heck happened?
Yeah. You'll find out. You'll find out what happened.
Yeah, in January.
Next time. And yes, next year.
I really wish we could fit in another one, but I don't think we can.
Nope.
It will most likely be the first weekend in January, because I think New Year's is on a weekend, so it won't be that one. I'm pretty sure.
That's the New Year's Day is on a Sunday.
Yeah, I thought so.
So it will be the
8th of January.
We have horrible connection today. I've seen it be read a lot.
It's not bad. Still got over 2,000 kbs, so it is red, yes. But that is also relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is much worse than the 10,000 it usually is, but then there's 2, which is still more than 0.
That's fair.
So as long as it's more than 0, you're fine.
That's fair.
See, it's red, but it's still decent.
It's also fluctuating a lot.
It doesn't like the connection. Your stability is bad, but the send through is still there.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone had fun.
I did.
Chatted a little quiet. And since we have other things we could do, we might just want to go do something.
Yeah.
Half fish descendant. I mean, nymph is kind of a thing. She did explain this. She's a water nymph, yes.
Yeah.
And she becomes fishy.
Seems a little fishy.
Something smells fishy here. I mean, she might.
Yeah, who knows? We know.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone had fun.
Yes.
You want to do your outro?
I hope everybody liked it as much as we did. I should do that differently. Oh, God. Got me off guard. Well, I hope you enjoyed as much as we didn't. And, yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.